Hello everyone, my name is Umar Farouk and I'll be putting us through on how to set up the wagtail code base on your local for contribution purpose. And this is a screencast for Linux users. Alright, so let's get going. Okay, so I will move on and open up my terminal, and part of the prerequisites of wagtail is you need two core packages installed, that is Python and Node. So I'm just gonna move on to check my Python version, and you could see I have Python 3.10 installed here, and the next thing will be me to check my Node version. See that, so I have Node version 18.12. so we have these things ready. And then I'll move on to clear my screen, and you need to ensure that you've actually installed the virtual environment with your Python or any other thing. You just need to have a virtual environment, which is something really nice. So because you don't want to install the code globally, you want it to be like you are working in a virtual world. So basically that's the importance of virtual environment. So I love the dark mode on the wagtail, so I'll just move on here. And the step to start is so let's move on to creating our virtual environment. So I'll just say python -m vim, then I'll call it Linux tutorial. Okay, so this will be, oops, sorry for that. Yeah, we are Linux users, so we know that it should be Python 3. Yeah, I made a mistake with that, so I'll move on to clear my screen. So now once I said cd Linux tutorial, I have that here. Oops, I have the Linux tutorial here, but I'll just try to I don't want to use that again because it's a mistake. I actually make sure that I have all my virtual environment in a single directory. So I'm sorry for that. I'll just navigate into my virtual so this is a directory. It's just a normal directory where I install all my virtual environments. So I'll navigate there and then type the command python 3-m vim, then Linux tutorial. Yeah, so let's wait while it gets installed. Alright, so I've successfully created a virtual env called Linux tutorial. So I'll just ls, and then you could actually see I have two directory. This is a Linux tutorial. You could see I have it there. Now go ahead to clear my screen. So the next thing is we have to activate my virtual environment. So I'll cd into Linux tutorial, which is my virtual environment which I just created. So then now I want to activate it. Now run the command source bin activate bam. So you can see I have, with this indication, it shows that I have my virtual environment activated for Linux tutorial. So the next procedure is we want to move on to the installation. So I will need to clone the wagtail repo, and the best way is it's best for you to always fork this repo to your personal repository before you clone it from your own repository, because you setting up a wagtail code base like this, that means you are trying to make a contribution in the development part. So you always want to fork the repo to your own personal repository, and then you clone your own personal copy from there so that you could work and push down, then create a pull request. I think that's nicer and simpler. So I'll just move on, and in my Linux tutorial, which is the virtual environment, I'll just run the command to say git clone this repo, and I'll run it. So Okay, so it's already downloading, and it might take a while depending on your internet speed. So I'll just go ahead to pause the screencast, and when it's done we resume from there. Okay, so we are back. Sorry for the delay. I kind of so it's almost done. We're on 79%, and it's moving. Let's give it a few more minutes to complete. 86, 87. So it's kind of pretty cool, pretty fast now. So 93%. And all right, so coming back to the docs, let's see what next. So the next step is we navigate into the wagtail directory, which we just cloned, and then we run this command. All right, so let's check that. Is it done? It's on 98%, and then keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Okay, so it's done cloning, it's done downloading. Wow, that's nice. So we have this, and then next step is cd wagtail, which is the directory we just cloned now, and from this directory we need to run a command. So this command pip install -e this, so it helps to install the dependencies for testing and docs. When I say docs, I mean documentation. So we just copy it down this command, and so we come here to paste, and then so we run. So it's also going to install several dependencies for the testing. So it's installing. It's a really big library, so it depends on a lot. So right now we're installing these dependencies, and then let's give it a few seconds to complete. So it's installing a lot of them. Yeah, so I think it's pretty fast on Linux than other operating system distributions. So okay, let's give it more time. It should take its time to collect all packages, and okay, right now it's installing the collected packages which we saw above. So installing them gradually, one after the other. So let's give it a few more minutes to complete. Oh, nice. So it's done. We are done installing the packages, and the next thing is we need to run our npm command, which is this command helps us to install the tool which we use for building our static file. So just move on to paste that and hit enter. So npm ci. So okay, so give it some time. Tries to run, it installs all tools we need. These are node package tools. You know, we've run the first two commands, which are tools relating to the Python. So these are the reasons why we said you need a Python installed, and then you need the node installed. So those two prerequisites are the reasons why we could actually proceed with these commands, because this is a command that runs with our node. This is npm stands for node package manager, and the previous ones are the Python commands where we run. The pip is a Python package manager, which is the pip. It helps for you to download Python packages, and npm helps you to download node packages. So alright, so if you are following this series, and the previous screencast I made, I already said you will always get this. You will always get this for vulnerabilities, issues, and then the other issues. So we've actually had this, and then everything looks nice here. So the next part is we need to compile our static assets. So the assets are the our static files, which are the JavaScript and the CSS files. So once you start making your contribution, you should be able to see that you have a lot of SCSS files and a lot of SCSS files, which this command will bundle into CSS files, and then you have a lot of JavaScript files, which this command helps you to work with. So let's just run this, and then we wait for a response. So at the end, you could actually see a few of the files which I'm trying to talk about. That files from static files from our admin directories, from the blog directories, and so many. Alright, so if we could analyze it, you will see we have see wagtail, contrib, style guide, static src, wagtail start guide, SCSS. So you see, it just built an SCSS files, it just built a JavaScript files, build tp.css files. So we have these are the static files which this command helps us to build. We have a lot. So you see the admin, I told you we have some static files in our admin, which are the SCSS files, and listen. So just move on, and then right now it shows that we've successfully set up the wagtail code base on our local. So to confirm that, then I'll just go ahead to clear my screen, and then we move on to the next step of installing a wagtail site. So we try to open this in a new tab, and then this is the docs for installing a wagtail in a new site. So we could actually take multiple steps, and then so the first command is you type in the wagtail start my site. So let's go and say wagtail start, so say Linux demo. So Linux demo is the name of our site. We put that, so it has been successfully created. And then the next thing is we need to install the requirements for our site, and then move on. So I just put that pip install -r requirements.txt. So these are the requirements. Oops, I should make the mistake. So on creating this, we've successfully created a Linux demo site. So the next step is we navigate into the Linux demo site, and then inside our Linux demo site we want to install all prerequisites of that site. So we run this command to install that, and alright, so it's currently installing, and then we try to wait for it to successfully installed. Could just ignore these two errors. So the next step is we need to run our migrate command, and then the migrate command, this migrate command helps us to create our tables and help us to compile our models here. So when you start making your contribution, you get to know a lot about your models, and if you're conversant with the Django mode of building, you know how you work with models and then so many files. Okay, so it shows that we've successfully run that, we've successfully built our models. Then the next step is we need to create an admin. Yeah, we're setting up a site, then we need an admin. We need to know who is the master of all. So we run this command python main.py create super user, which is a Django then we name it admin. There's our username, then we call admin@gmail.com. this should be our mail, and then our password admin. So this is our password. So let's say the password is too similar. Do you want to bypass the password validation? Just move on to say yes. So super user has been created successfully, and then the next step is we want to spin up our server to confirm that our site actually works. Yeah, so I will just clear my screen so that we have a nicer interface. But I'll be running this on port 7000 because I have another application running on port 8000. So I'll just run the command python manage.py run server 7000. If you don't have anything running on port 8000, you can actually run this command directly, and then by default it will launch on port 8000. But I don't want that, so I'll move on to say this. Then this is what I have. It's been spin up. Site is running on port 7000. So let's try to check that. So just move on to copy the link and then paste that. So bam. Oh, look what we got here. I have my wagtail site running on port 7000, and I could actually log in as an admin. So I could log in as an admin. So it gives me supply my admin details. Move on to supply my admin details. Then don't remember me. Yeah, you could actually remember. So this is it. You could see welcome to the Linux demo wagtail CMS. This is our home page. We could actually check pages. We don't have pages yet. We don't have images. We just have everything refreshed. So this is it, and I hope you enjoy the screencast. Thank you very much for listening to me again.